Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going? Welcome to episode number 953 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live once again today from the San Francisco Bay Trail here at beautiful Bear Island in Redwood City, California. Today, I've got a great topic that should be of great importance to everyone. Today, I'm going to be asking you folks, what are you happy about and grateful for? I'm going to be sharing my thoughts about this as well. So we're going to be talking about what are you grateful for and happy about? What makes you happy? Again today, I've got people coming on both sides, parallel. So there's a couple that's walking their dog and driving an RC car at the same time. All good. All good. Now, we've got a couple up front there with two big dogs right by the entrance of the trail. Actually, those aren't dogs. There are dogs and kids right by the entrance of the trail. So I'm going to wait. I'm just going to, I have to go by them. I'm not going to wait for them to well, all right. This is, hang on a second. All right. Well, I found my way around. Anyway. Yeah, it's a nice day. Nice day. It's about 60 degrees, 59, 60 degrees. The slight breeze. And I'm in a very good mood today. Very good mood. I've been in a very good mood lately. And I always try to be in a good mood. Because, you know, life is not fun when you don't keep things positive and happy. It's not. Give me a second here. I'm just going to wait for a few people to pass on by. It is Sunday. A lot of people like to walk on Sundays. Before I get to what I'm grateful for and what makes me happy, and if you're here in the chat and you want to make me aware of what makes you happy and what you're grateful for, that would be great. Before we get to that, I wanted to mention something that's very important to me. Hello, Tia. How have you been? It's been a while. It's so great to see you. Thank you for being here. Much love from Eli and Don. I'm at a loss for words. Thank you so much for being here. Um, Before we get to the topic here today, I do want to mention one thing. And I did mention that I'm going to be scaling back regarding discussing politics, and I am. I'm going to continue doing that. But every now and then, I want to mention something positive. And I heard something today on another YouTube channel I follow. It's called Brian Tyler Cohen. He's a left-leaning, slight left-leaning, more down the middle, progressive type of political, commentator. And he mentioned something today that when he went to Washington last week to speak with some members of Congress, one of the things that he really went there to focus on was to get more people from the left and down the middle to come online and start sharing their thoughts. So just like I've been saying for the last several years, Brian Tyler Cohen has been saying this since I started following him. Like 2-3 months ago is when I started following Brian Tyler Cohen, who has almost 4 million subscribers now. Great guy. He's a gentleman in his mid-30s, and his perspective on things is very fair and reasonable and really resonates with me. But he was saying that he's building this coalition. He's building this group of content creators that are on the left or more down the middle, that are not conservative, because Brian's been saying the same thing I've been saying. For the last 10 years, the people on the right have been dominating social media and alternative media, while the people on the left and down the middle have been focusing more of their efforts on mainstream media, also known as legacy media. What is mainstream legacy media? ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, CNN, Fox News, CNBC, and now News Nation, that's been around for a few years. So Brian's been saying that we need to level off the playing field, because that's why the Democrats lost the election. And that's why the Democrats are getting destroyed by the Republicans, because we're simply not showing up. And I've been saying that for a while. I fully agree with that. So before I move on to the topic here, I look forward to seeing where this goes. Brian's saying he's going to get 1,000 new, slight left-leaning, down the middle creators, and then after those 1,000, another 1,000, and he's saying no longer will the right-wingers completely dominate the internet. It'll be a fair and level playing field, which is the way it should have been all along. And quite frankly, I don't how do I say this the right way? I'm tired of the divide. I'm tired of the division. I'm tired of fighting with other Americans. Like, we're in the same country. We're in the same country. We're Americans. And instead of working together to better our country and better this world, we're fighting over stupid shit. And it's just heartbreaking to me. It is heartbreaking to me. And that's why we need to get all types of people to talk on the internet so we all have our fair say, right? So it's all equal and balanced, right? So I look forward to seeing what happens, in the months and the year or years ahead. And rock on, Brian Tyler Cohen. He's a phenomenal, phenomenal creator. Subscribe to him if you'd like. All right. So, we're going to talk about, what I'm grateful for and, what makes me happy and what I'm grateful for. And I wanted to do this today because, whoever watches this live or on the replay, I'd love it if you could share in the chat what you're grateful for and what makes you happy, right? In this world we have, too much drama going on, too many negative, bad things going on, especially on the internet, right? And it just seems like we never take the time anymore nowadays to embrace the great stuff because no one seems to want to tune in and watch someone talk about positive, inspiring, grateful things, right? People seem to just want drama and hatred, and they want to see the shit show, right? I've never been about that. Never. So what am I grateful for and what makes me happy? Well, the most important thing to me in the world is my family. Even family members that have passed on, such as my father who passed away almost 15 years ago. And then his parents, my grandma and grandpa on my dad's side. And my mother, I'm grateful for her, very grateful for her. She's still around. What an amazing woman she is. That complimented my father to raise my brother and I. My brother and I are two very fortunate people that, had a great upbringing. Our parents took such great care of us, and we never had to worry about being on the street or being hungry or, not having heat to keep us warm in the winter, etc. And those are things right there to be extremely grateful for, and it makes me just very, very happy and proud that I've had such great family. My aunt and my uncles and other aunts and uncles in Greece. My dad's side of the family pretty much came out here to America along with my mother, and then my mother's family stayed in Greece. So I have a family in Greece and here in America. Another thing I'm really grateful for and happy about is just being alive. And that's one thing that many of us humans take for granted. The fact that we're alive. Alive and kicking and being a part of this amazing planet called Earth. And those of us that are alive at this time and have been alive for many decades have been experiencing some of the most incredible technological changes that our world has ever seen. You know, just over 100 years ago, we barely had radio and barely started to have cars. And since that time, we've evolved into paved roads and superhighways. You know, then commercial airlines, and we've just evolved into an amazing ecosystem globally, where in the past, you know, we were miles apart, thousands of miles apart, but now we're closer together than ever. Now, also including with the internet, you know, we have a global audience out here on YouTube, and I'm very grateful for that. And it makes me happy to be connecting with amazing people from all over the world. And that wasn't possible over 15 years ago, before YouTube was created and social media was created. I'm grateful for my brother and my cousin and other cousins in Greece. I moved over because there's 2 women and a child all on bikes, and they're covering up the entire track, and there are people coming on both sides. So now they all moved over. It's all good. I'm gonna wait for a few people to pass on by. Yeah, lots of people walking today. That's good. That's actually a good thing. Walking's good for you. Tia says, I'm grateful for the life I had, the love that was shown from my parents, and the truly loving marriage I have. I'm also thankful for my friends I have, and it's not a lot by choice, yet great people. Well said there, Tia. Absolutely. Very well said. And I feel the same way. You know, I'm grateful for my friends as well. And I do have a lot of friends. It's just that as you get older, you have to prioritize things, because as we get older, it just seems like time flies very fast. By the way, today is daylight savings time, folks. We're springing forward today. Now, most clocks are automatically, you know, changed because, you know, they're connected to the internet, or, you know, they're on a, you know, computer that knows when to change things. But if you have a manual clock, make sure you set your clocks an hour ahead. Spring forward. The sun sets now out here where I'm at just after 7 o'clock. So more time to do these walks. And as we get closer to summer, the sun will set around 8, then almost at 9, and then it'll start going back the other way until we fall back. But as far as friends go, I love my friends, and I love people in general, but as we get older, we have so many things going on with our immediate family, our spouses, etc. Some of us have kids, that it's just, very difficult to spend as much time as we did with our friends in our teens and our 20s. I'm not saying to abandon your friends, but, I get where you're coming from, Tia. You may not have the most active friends. I'm sure you have a lot of friends, but, friends that you talk with or hang around with regularly are going to be far fewer. You're picking and choosing, who's worthy of your time. Now, I'm not saying our other friends aren't worthy of our time. It's just that, many of us go different ways, and we have to decide where we give our time and energy, especially as we get older, because we have less time and less energy. Those are just facts of life, right? So I get where you're coming from regarding that. Another thing I'm grateful for is this opportunity on YouTube. I'm grateful that I've had 2 monetized channels out here on YouTube. The other channel, G&A, Genuine Personal Development, that channel's been around for 6 years, and 5 of those years it's been monetized, still monetized to this day, still in great standing to this day. And then this channel here, G&A2, Genuine Live Personal Development, it's been around for 1 year less. It's been around for 5 years, and my girlfriend Donna and I, primarily with Dawn's help, we got this channel monetized here 2.5 years ago. I'm very grateful and thankful for the opportunity that YouTube has given me, given Dawn, and anyone else that's affiliated with us. And although we haven't, broken the sound barrier yet with views or revenue, we're still plugging away and still moving forward. And we're going to hit those goals one of these days. That's part of keeping it positive. You don't have to, you don't have to have a ton of views or make a ton of money out of the gate to be grateful about YouTube and the YouTube Partner Program. And in general, the platform that they've, given to us. And pretty much the 50-50 revenue sharing. It's unheard of, for ads. Creators get 55% and YouTube gets 45%. YouTube and Google get 45%. We get 55%. It's very fair. Now, granted, the super chats, they get 30%, we get 70%. Some people say those are a lot in fees, but the convenience factor, having other options for creators to make revenue directly on the platform and to make it easy for supporters to do so, is second to none. I'm grateful for that. I've always been grateful for that. And I'll continue being grateful for that as long as they keep me in the program. Another thing I'm grateful for is my health. I'm 51 years old now. I turned 51 this past December 17th. in 2024. You know, pretty healthy for my age. I got a little sciatica, and it's getting better actually. I've been doing some different stretches, and my girlfriend Dawn actually, she's had some muscular issues, and she's been going to physical therapy at the medical foundation we're a part of. I go with her, and I pay attention to, what they're teaching her, and I use it to my benefit. Now, I got to use my insurance and get a checkup really soon, but my sciatica's gotten a heck of a lot better. But besides that, very healthy. My oxygen levels read at around 98%. My resting heart rate is anywhere from 60 to 70%. That is very good, especially for a guy getting old like me. My blood pressure is good. It's all good. Like I said earlier, you got to be grateful to be alive. That's part of being grateful of just being alive. But your health is everything. That's one thing that you should never ever take for granted. Yet, it's something that people take for granted more often than not. It's a little girl with a motorized dirt bike, literally going about 35 miles per hour on this trail. I don't think they should allow little kids to ride those things. They're so dangerous. They're so dangerous. They slip, they fall off that thing, especially if they're not wearing a helmet or knee pads. We all know it's going to cause a severe injury, but anyway, I don't make the laws. Another thing I'm grateful for is where I live. I love the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm grateful again for my father, that when seeking to find a place to raise his family, he chose this place. He did his research. He thought about his family. He was very considerate to his family. And because of the choices and decisions my dad made, I'm grateful and I feel fortunate to be living in such a wonderful place. Let me see. Excuse me. A little bit windy, so I hope you folks can hear me okay right now. Just 1 second, folks. So those are the most important things that come to mind that I'm grateful for. Whether you're here live or on the replay, ask yourself, what are you grateful for? What makes you happy? And if you can't answer either of these two questions, then my question to you is, why are you choosing to be miserable? Why are you choosing to just be a very hateful and unhappy person? What's put you in that position? Because only you can identify that issue and address it to turn it around for the better. I came across this video today. I think it was 8 or 9 years old, and this guy with like 150K subs was talking about, ignoring trolls. And, I had done a search in the past for videos on why trolls troll and ignoring trolls and all that kind of stuff, right? So, give me a second. I just lost my my train of thought. So this guy that was talking about trolls was saying that, these people are pathetic and they got nothing better to do than to smoke and drink and get up at 2 in the morning and make crazy comments that are completely irrelevant. And really don't mean anything, right? And he was saying that every so often he'll respond to them and get a good laugh and this and that. But for the most part, he ignores them. And that was a very inspirational video because we've all dealt with trolls. If you're on the internet, you're going to be dealing with trolls, especially if you're trying to create something of value that's positive. You're always going to get, those types of people that no matter what you say or do, they're always going to say the opposite. They're always going to criticize you and attack you and whatever, right? And it's something that, my girlfriend Dawn and I, we've been talking a lot about it lately. I'll share more about Dawn in a second here. Because I saved Dawn for last, but I'll get there in a bit. Dawn and I, we've talked about the trolls and the haters, and we've just learned. We've learned it's just what lights their fire. It's, what keeps their batteries charged. It's what keeps their juices flowing. And that's just who these people are choosing to be at this time, or they've been that way for quite some time. And at least for now, They don't know any better, right? Right? And as far as Dawn goes, I'm extremely grateful for Dawn. I'm extremely grateful for Dawn because she's made a huge difference in my life. She's been very supportive. And there are times where it didn't seem like she was being supportive, but she actually was supportive. Sometimes even I need a good smack in the butt. And she's been good at giving me that. Now, if I disagree with her on some stuff, sure, I stand up to her too. Her and I stand up to each other. But what Don and I have for each other that's kept us together for 3.5 years so far and living together for almost 2.5 of those years, what Don and I have is respect for each other, right? And there are times where Don and I hang on a second. Give me a second. There are times where it appears like Don and I aren't getting along. And that's not the case. We disagree on many things. We also agree on many things. And real couples and just people in general are not always going to agree on everything. We're going to disagree on more than we agree. That's how it usually goes. But Don and I can have a conversation. We can talk about it, right? It might get a little amped up for a few seconds or so, right? Or a minute or two. But then we sit there and we say, okay, let's talk about what just happened. Let's talk about the situation. And we work through it. And it only makes us stronger. And it only builds our respect for each other at a greater level, because in a relationship, in any friendship, romantic relationship, business partnership, without respect, you have nothing. Respect is one of the most important aspects of life that's going to either make you or break you, right? And I value the respect that Dawn has for me. And she has my respect in return. Or at the same time. Let's just say at the same time. For someone that's been through as much as Dawn has been through in life, and I've been learning a lot more, over the last 6 to 8 months regarding what Dawn has been through. A lot more of it's making even more sense for me now. And, some of the things she went through were out of her control and has affected her life. Have you ever put your heart and soul into something, a marriage, a relationship, a business partnership, a friendship, you give it all you've got, you put in all this effort, and then the other person just screws you over because maybe they're a little bit older and have a little more experience, right? Or there's somebody that preys on the vulnerability of nice people. I've seen that happen so many times. I consider myself to be a very nice person. And I want to call myself a nice guy. But I don't do that anymore because people walk all over nice people. I consider myself to be a good guy, a decent person. But you use the word nice, and people see that as an opportunity and an opening to shoot you down. And it's really, really sad. That's really, really sad. I didn't go to the observation deck because there's somebody up there. And, like I've said before, Donna's a part of my family. She's been a part of my family for quite some time now. So whenever I mention I'm grateful for my family, that automatically includes Dawn. That goes without saying. Look at this. There's a plane. That's blowing smoke into the sky. Second here. All right, we should still be good. I'm making sure I didn't mute the microphone. It's a little hard to see the screen today because the sun's right in my eyes. Sometimes it's just nice to pause and just take in the fresh air. I've gotten to the point out here on YouTube where I really don't feel the need to say as much. I used to feel the need to just talk about all the stupid stuff and call everything out and overly explain things. And because of the many wonderful conversations I've had with Dawn lately, I've really, really grown to understand that less is actually more. I've been really working on that because the type of person that I am, I like to talk a lot. And I'm a confrontational person. And I don't have any problems giving anyone a piece of my mind. I don't. But, you know, as I've gotten older now into my 50s, now 51, and as my relationship continues to blossom and grow with Dawn, you know, I'm just beginning to realize that there are more important things in life to focus my energy on. You know, when you come out here on YouTube and, you know, sometimes you're dealing with just crazy people, right? And these crazy people, they do things to try to purposefully antagonize you while you're live because they want to take that reaction and feed it to their audience, right? And I used to feed into it. And, you know, whether I got my point across or not is irrelevant. There are many times where I know I got my point across and I know it made sense, right? And I knew I was right about these people, but what did it do for me? It drained my energy to the point of I would go home to my girlfriend and, you know, she would want to watch, you know, a movie or something, which I would want to watch it with her too, and I would be so tired, I'd be sitting there on the couch, the movie would start and I'd fall asleep. It wore me out. Like, negative energy will wear you out, right? If you're screaming at the top of your lungs because some stupid motherfucker on YouTube is making shitty content on you, or shitty people are coming into your live stream chat and saying stupid shitty things, like, if you overreact to all of that, who cares that you're giving them what they want? It's what are you doing to yourself? Fuck them. Who cares about them? It's more about what are you doing to yourself? How is it affecting you and your energy, right? Because negative energy will drain you quicker than anything. You know, I've said this before, I'll say it again. You can get a good night's sleep, 8 hours. I can get 8 hours of sleep. Wake up fully refreshed, have a cup of coffee, and just feel like I have 16 hours of energy to get through the day before bedtime the next day, right? And if my very first interaction with someone, that first hour after I get up is all negative, and it escalates to a back and forth argument, and shouting's involved and stuff like that, that would drain my energy for the rest of the day. So basically, even after 8 hours of sleep, where that refreshed me to get through the day, 16 hours, allowing myself to get so charged up and amped up over something stupid would drain my energy to the point of where I would feel more tired after 8 hours of sleep than I did before I went to bed the night before. That's what negative energy does. And I've chosen to not submit. That might not be the best word, but you get what I'm saying. I've chosen to not submit to the negative energy of anyone. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm human. You're human too. And sometimes, we're going to get blindsided, or we're going to have a moment where we relapse, but then get right back on track. Let me give you an example here, right? See, when you're a YouTuber, right, you can ignore trolls and haters and it's all good. But let's say I go on a live stream panel on someone else's channel that actually likes me, and then they open up the panel to anyone publicly, and then one of my haters or two or three of them come on the panel to try and trash me, right? If they come on there and do that, it is possible that I could get upset or triggered, which I haven't in quite some time, and I don't plan on again. But I'm just saying, those situations can blindside you if you're not anticipating that, and if you haven't gotten to the point of where you realize that reacting and overreacting pretty much in any situation is not going to get you anywhere. What's the best thing to do? If you're on someone else's channel and they bring other people on and they come at you, you can sit there and just be quiet. You can sit there and just politely say, I'm not here to answer questions from these people. You want to let them talk, I'll just mute my microphone and we can continue once they're done. You're making more of a statement doing that because you're basically putting the content creator that's supposedly your friend on the hook for allowing people to come on and trash you, right? It's their channel. So you can't tell these people, I've tried to do this before, you can't tell your friends, don't bring anyone else on that could trash me, because it's not my channel, it's their channel, right? And instead of complaining, let those people come on, let them make a fool out of themselves, let them talk all the trash they want, and just keep it quiet and show your friend that let them come on their channel to do that, that it doesn't bother you. And after a while, when you show how strong of a person you are and how stupid shit doesn't bother you, especially on the internet, people will stop doing it to you. People will only continue doing things, stupid things, to antagonize you for a reaction. They'll only keep doing those stupid things as long as they feel it bothers you. That's the lesson to learn. Let me show you the view from over here. It's a beautiful day. I mean, it's still a little bit nifty out here on the trail, which is why I have my jacket on. I'm only single layered up, not double layered up. It's not that cold, but it's not really that warm either. By the way, if you see, the super chat goals are back today. If we get a minimum of 5 super chats at a minimum of $5 a piece before any one of these streams ends, then my girlfriend Dawn and I will go live together and catch everyone up. And she's got so much to share with the world regarding how far along she's come in regards to many things she struggled with, many of which were not her fault. You know, I told my girlfriend Dawn today, I said, look, babe, I don't kiss anyone's ass, including yours. I don't want you to think that when I say most of the stuff that's happened to you is not your fault, I'm not saying that to suck up to you, and I'm not saying that just because you're my girlfriend. I'm giving you an unbiased opinion, and I hope you understand that. Well, she goes, that's the way I would want you to be, of course, and that's the way you are with me, and I respect that. Absolutely respect that. But yeah, I mean, I told Dawn, I said unbiased, in an unbiased way. Most of the stuff that you've been through is not directly your fault. And this is something that her and I will talk more about in detail once we do that show. And again, if you folks want us to do that show, a minimum of 5 super chats at $5 a piece on any one of these shows. That's our super chat goal. And we'll make that happen. And the reason why, Dawn and I, more so Dawn has chosen to do it, because it's her story. The reason why we both agreed that it's a good idea to do it is because we know there are people out there that truly value what we do here and value our stories, and those people can learn from it. And hopefully, not end up going down the same path that Dawn did or I did. And that's why I love Dawn so much, because I know most of what she's been through was not instigated by her. It was instigated by other people. And when you're dealing with when you're dealing with men that don't take their women's or wives' emotions, feelings, wants, and needs into consideration, women will react and overreact. That's just a part of their natural biology. When any man, preys on his woman's vulnerabilities as a woman, especially, when it comes to a divorce proceeding, and you intentionally antagonize your woman, to get certain things, that's pretty fucked up. That's a pretty shitty human being. It is. I'll just give you a little sneak preview. There's a lot of good stuff to share, and we're not here to trash anyone or anything. We're just here to share what happened and how it's affected Dawn, and how she turned it around, how she worked past it. Many of you have either gone or are currently going through something similar. Maybe you're going through a divorce or a breakup or something, and you can relate to these stories. Nice to see so many people on the trail today, but a lot of them are riding bikes. You get the most benefit when you're walking or when you're jogging. You've got to ride your bike in and out of this 1 3/4 mile in and 1 3/4 mile out trail, which is 3.5 miles in and out total. You've got to ride your bike in and out of this thing 5 times to get the same benefit as walking it once. That's why, I love walking. Always loved walking, always loved hiking. Running is okay too, but I prefer to walk. Gives you that good slow burn on your muscles. And you aren't totally overdoing it, and you're able to just look at the beautiful scenery. And we could do a live stream on YouTube at the same time. Can't do that running. So what are you grateful for? What makes you happy? What do you appreciate? Think about it. Ask yourselves that, whether you're here watching this live or on the replay. And please share your comments below if you're here on the replay. If you're live, make sure you chat in the chat, let us know. I know Tia was here a little bit ago. I'm not sure if she's still around. It's okay if you're not around, Tia. There's a lot going on. I do appreciate you stopping by, though. It was really nice to see you in here. It's been a while. Between stepping away to go to Facebook for a month and a half, and I was hot and cold on the streams when I came back to YouTube because I wasn't feeling that well, but we're starting to get back on track, and that's really nice. It was great to see you here. Thank you. I know Sandra's been pretty busy, and some other people that are still a part of the GNA network here, the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short. And again, to remind you folks, a lot of good things are going to be coming. I just need to find the time to do them, and I've switched gears because my girlfriend has been dealing with some chronic pain issues. I'm still here just listening. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that, Tia. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I switched gears to, focus on helping my girlfriend, Dawn, get to her doctor's appointments and taking care of some muscular pain issues and other stuff. I've also been working on some clerical stuff. I got I'll mention it again in case you folks haven't heard. The Coach Eli professional picture that I use on my thumbnails. As of last month, was registered with the United States Copyright Office. I have a copyright certificate on that, which means if I choose to sue someone in federal court, I can with that certificate. So it just gives me greater protection on my professional picture. People use it on memes. If they use it in any way, shape, or form, I can sue them for it in the U.S. court in a United States federal court. And the GNA, we got our registered trademark registered with the state of California a few months back, but we are also just about to get our federal registration re-registered after almost 4 years of losing our original registration. It's in the final stages right now. I made some changes the other day to where the owner of the GNA logo, the owner of the trademark, it used to be Elias Melas as an individual sole proprietor, and now the owner is Genuine Networking Association GNA LLC, the limited liability company. Now I own the LLC because I have a DBA, Elias Melas, DBA, doing business as Genuine Networking Association GNA. So, but that's been changed over, and we're waiting for our federal trademark to register. That should be happening hopefully in the next month or two. I mean, I've already submitted everything that needs to be submitted after the opposition period, which was 30 days, where people had an opportunity to oppose me getting the trademark, and no one opposed it. So it's now in the final stages. I filed a statement of use, changed it from sole proprietor to LLC, and now it's just waiting for the USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office, the attorney, to finalize it. So a lot of great stuff in the works, and the GNA is basically just one last step away from being fully protected more than ever before. And there are some things that we want to do on the website. We want to get some polls going. We want to get some interaction going. Want to do the positivity pledge, but there were issues with the plugin, and tried to get that solved with the plugin creator, and it just wasn't able to be fixed. So it's just a lot of stuff has happened. A lot of stuff has happened opposite of what I was hoping for, but it is what it is. Great news. Happy for you and Don. Oh, about what specifically, Tia? Sorry about that. I talked so much, but great news regarding what specifically. My apologies. I want to make sure I acknowledge you properly. The trademark. Yeah. Tia, I'll tell you, Tia, it was not an easy process for many reasons. The last almost 4 years since I initially lost the original trademark after 6 years, because I forgot and I missed all the emails regarding at the 6-year point you have to update the United States Patent and Trademark Office, the USPTO, with some information, and that slipped. And because of that, it basically put me on a ride for the last 4 years. And had that trademark never gone, had I never let it slip by mistake, it would have probably saved me some hassle over the years. But it is what it is. Right now, it would have been at the 10-year mark, and I would have had to renew it anyway. So And I renewed it. I refreshed the logo a little bit. I changed it up a little bit. The original logo is still pretty much the same. It's just shifted some of the verbiage around and put the G and A on the bottom instead of the top of the star. So it gave me the opportunity to make some slight changes, and I chalk it up to, hey, everything happens for a reason, right? Whew. Give me a second here. See that sun there? It's so hard to even see the screen to follow the plane. Anyway. And another thing, for those of you that come across this, I'm still looking to interview anyone that wants to be interviewed. If you're a content creator, if you run a self-employed type of business, small business, entrepreneur, if you're an influencer, or if you just want to have a conversation and talk about what's going on in the world, or talk about how personal development has made a big difference in your life, I would love to get people to come on and do an interview with me. Of course, these interviews are going to be pre-recorded. I'm not going to do them live. But come and do an interview with me and share your thoughts on how personal development changed your life. And I automatically know that any one of these influencers and successful business owners, I know personal development made a big difference in their life, because without them being positive and happy and having self-love and self-respect, they would have never reached success, right? So I want to hear your stories. I want to hear how self-improvement / personal development has made a big difference in your life. Because it's one thing for me to say it over and over again. It's another thing for other people to come on and share how it's made one of the single most important differences in your lives. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. If it was about 10 degrees warmer, it would be the perfect day. Someone's coming, so I'm going to wait for a second here. Start getting your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're getting towards the end of the trail. We're going to be going off the air in about, let's say, 5 to 7 minutes or so. And go home and spend some time again with Dawn and the dogs. I've been trying to do these streams earlier. Dawn and I have been going to bed earlier, and we've been getting up earlier. When you get up earlier, you just, have, more time to do things. When I get these walks done earlier on in the afternoon, or before the evening. Oh, that was a squirrel. You just have more time at night. I see some incredible things in the near future during the rest of 2025. We're going to have more of a level playing field out here on YouTube. I don't want to make a big deal about left versus right or anything like that, but again, like I said earlier, people on the right have been dominating the internet for the last 10 years. And even if you don't talk about politics, like I used to not talk about politics, you still get attacked by people on the right because I guess if you speak a certain way, it's called liberal, right? And yeah, I guess when they said you sound like a liberal or a libtard or a liberal sack of shit, when they said that years ago, okay, maybe you were right about that. And I'm like, how'd they figure it out? Well, they figured it out because their views are completely opposite of mine. That's how divided we are in this world. Our views with other people just like us Americans, other Americans are completely opposite. Like half the country has the complete opposite views of the other half. And I want to find the solution to bridge the gap. Other people like Chris Como. Chris Como wants to bridge the gap. How do we do it? Something's got to give, right? Give me a second. Someone's coming off the trail. All right, let's go. Now more people are coming running off, so I'm just gonna wait. I think once we level off the playing field on the internet, I think it's going to make a world of difference. I've been saying that for years. Como's been saying that a lot recently. Now, I didn't follow Como for a while. I followed him back on CNN, and then he got fired. And then I didn't even realize he was on News Nation, and I started watching him more so late last year, earlier this year. And he's been saying the same thing. You know, the internet's dominated with right-wing propaganda, podcasters with the big headphones. He calls them podcasters with the big headphones because the legacy media, also known as mainstream media, uses more professional equipment. They use those earpieces, and they're wireless and they're more expensive. Which is why a lot of us use headphones. And I don't care about using headphones. I think headphones look cool, and I don't use those really big headphones. I get what Chris is saying. Chris Como was saying, some of them have really huge, big headphones. My headphones are not the smallest ones, but they're not the biggest ones either. But yeah, I think a lot of these creators, they buy those big headphones because it just makes some kind of a statement. And some of the headphones I've seen that's used by some right-wing podcasters. My God, some of those things are like a colorful show. It's like, oh, you got neon, you know, you've got pink neon, you've got yellow, highlighter neon color. I mean, it's just part of it's like a fashion show, right? I'm gonna wait for some people to pass on by. All right, get your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. Be going off the air momentarily. Yeah. Sometimes silence is golden. Thanks, Eli. Good stream and good info. Well, thank you, Tia. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've toned it down quite a bit, and I think that's the way it's going to be from this point on. I'm not saying I'm not going to get amped up ever again, but honestly, I don't want to. I don't want to give my energy to stupid shit. I don't want to give my energy to stupid, dumb, ignorant people that have no fucking purpose, right? They can all figure that out on their own. But thank you for being here, Tia. Thank you to everyone else that was watching and not commenting in the chat. And if you're here watching on the replay, thank you. Appreciate you. Much love. With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.